All right, we've got the beautiful Belvedere in the shop today. I'm going to be doing a few things, trying to get her ready for a possible parade car event in Washington. We're going to clean up the sides. We've de-stickered some. We're going to be getting some more decals on. One thing, because race car, there's no speedometer in the gauge cluster, so we picked ourselves up a little GPS speedometer, black face, chrome bezel, similar to what's there. And so we're going to take the dash apart and put a little speedo right here. It'll be GPS with a little antenna, so it's really not tied into the car, and do some of that. And then I want to do some little cleanups of the engine bay and just do a little detail work. I'm not going to get too carried away. I don't have a lot of time, and I got to have the car drivable tomorrow to take it to the detail shop, or the decal shop for its new decals. So I'll pull the dash, show a few things here, and show what we're going to do under the hood here in a second. So we got the dash done. I have a lot of cleaning to do. I couldn't get the hole exactly right. I didn't want to disconnect the gauges. Actually have the water temperature gauge is an actual probe that goes all the way down in. You'd have to take the probe off the engine, things that way. So I pulled the gauge cluster out, moved it sideways, and actually cut the hole here, but then I had to take my die grinder and clean that up. This top edge right along through here, he had this rubber trim stuff, which I actually don't mind going around the aluminum, it looks better, but had it sitting up here, and they masked it. You can see how they masked it around the screws, and it just doesn't look good. So I'm pulling it apart. I'm cleaning up the blue overspray. This had a bunch all the way down under here. I need to clean up some more. And same thing here, there was blue overspray going under the bolt. So I'm cleaning that up, taking those off and painting them black. The gauge works, so there's the new gauge. I was kind of in a conflict of these aren't exactly center to the steering wheel. So I put the gauge exactly center of the other two. So it's dead center, but it's kind of offset to the actual steering wheel. That's kind of what do I want to offset it? Do I want to center it to the steering wheel? Then it'd be further to the left and then a bigger gap. So I decided to keep it uniform, I just centered it to that. But that's where we are in here. Out here, this engine bay, it's, because race car, they just sprayed some paint in here and then threw the engine in. The engine's a beautiful jewel, but stuff like this fire area, or the front of the radiator, technically that should be black. So I'm going to pull the grill real quick. I'm going to paint that black inside there. And then I think I might paint this blue piece white, so that it's just uniform going across there in white. Things I can see in here, paint over the top of the screws. I'm going to pull the screws and either put new screws in or paint them. At some point, I'm going to take the hinges off and repaint the hinges so that they're not just oversprayed. I don't know if I'm going to get to that today, but like that brake caliper, it's just the overspray on the brakes and the overspray on the steering column. I'm going to mask that off and put some aluminum paint, things like that on. Just trying to make them look more put together. Try to clean up some of this overspray on this. So, yeah, that's what I'm working on. That's what I'll clean up and keep working on. And I'll show you what it looks like as I get going. So we've masked off and cleaned that brake master cylinder, put some silver paint on the bottom, cleaned all the blue paint off the plastic. Now that just looks like a master cylinder, which is what it should look like. We've taken the grill out. I've painted black behind the grill, and I've just painted that cross member white. It needs another coat, but we'll demask that here in a second. I'll show more of that. Then all the black overspray that's on, or all the miscellaneous red, white, and blue overspray that was behind the grill is now cleaned up and looking just a lot better. It's just when you open it up, just the eye doesn't go directly to you. Now, it'd be nicer to take these kind of things and paint them and whatever. That way I'll probably take them off one at a time and individually paint some of that kind of stuff. But right now, just white looks a million times better than the weird blue, white, blue. So now it just matches that fender and has that tie around and black in the backside. So that looks a million times better. So the white goes across there. We're blacked out through that center section. We've got little things like we painted the steering shaft coming down out of there black, so it's no longer orange or blue overspray. The master cylinder is now silver on the bottom with black on top. Just like even like that, got some black drip of paint right there I need to get cleaned off. It's dripping bad, but yeah, I'll clean that black drip out of there. You can see it's still so wet, that's what it's doing. But it's once this is all slammed down, now when you open the hood, it looks better. And then eventually, like I said, we'll get those hinges done. You know, strip them, sandblast them, maybe have them silver, paint them black. But the grill, I am very, very happy with. That looks so much better. Now when you even open the hood and you look down in there, just that, all the overspray that was in there, it just looks better. Get packed with bugs, who cares? Well, grill back in, that white going across the top, the black behind it. We've got new bolts on the side fenders, brake master cylinder that's not all oversprayed blue, the power steering that's not black. Clean a couple of bolts, we just need to wash it. Now when you pop the hood, it just looks better. It doesn't, you know, scream overspray paint and that kind of thing. It's still, you know, a race car engine bay, but just cleaner, just nicer. I'm happy with that. We also finished up the inside. We had some overspray on those door jambs. They had red overspray in here. They had red overspray on those other sides. Clean the interior up. The steering column's now on, or the gauge cluster's now on. Could probably turn the light off, maybe like see it better. There we go. So now that very top edge is now black. We don't have the oversprayed blue going down on top of the aluminum. I still have the steering wheel loose because I had to take it off to work on everything. So I want to take it for a drive around the block, make sure my steering wheel is straight. But for a couple hour little touch up, I think that makes all the difference in the world. We did get rid of these yucked up visors. They were all peeling and coming off that way. So I had these visors. They're a little bit thicker plusher visor for a 66 Fury, but they fit the rear view mirror nice. They're the same holes that fit in here. So that's just something quick and easy that makes it just look a little bit nicer. Doesn't have a bunch of peeled frame, you know, upholstery coming down. I just need to wash the interior a little bit. Just want to give it a little bit of elbow grease in here to make it look a little bit nicer. Eventually I do want to change the upholstery, but for what it is, it's fine. Back to because race car. Now it has an actual functioning fuel gauge, or not fuel gauge actually worked, but the speedometer. Bummer is as we are working on it, the needle on the oil pressure actually fell off, so I had to kind of pry this apart, take the gauge apart and put it back together. I'm going to get a new oil pressure gauge, but that's a very important gauge to make sure it works. So it still works, so that's the good part. And cleaned up. I've got some body work going on over in the other booth, so I'm going to get back to body work. And then tomorrow she goes in for new stickers, so I need to pull it outside and get it a good quick washing and get it rinsed down and washed out, so it'll be ready for that. We're here picking her up. So we have new logos there. Got the father's name there. here. That's absolutely beautiful. And then opposite side. Oh. Gold leaf on that end. All by those guys. Absolutely awesome. Well, we had to run to the shop, get a quick video of it. I've got a crazy day today, so I'm going fast. Got to jump in it and take off. But had to get a picture of it outside the business. Then I'll take it to the other one. And then we got her sitting all pretty there. Did the gold leaf northern heating. Because we're the fastest heating company in town. So that's that. Check, check. Then we're going to do a little road test, a little road trip with it on the next video. I think I'm not going to add it all in, but there's that.